baddies turning 100. If she would've transitioned before I cleared my name, I would've hunted them. Every one of them playing these silly games. That 1-800 ambulance chaser would've wished one came. But 911 is a joke. Public enemy #1, I've been ranked. The rock's not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the blame. Niggas' teeth is tumbling out their mouth and somehow I'm the one who done it. It's a murder mystery game. You had to cash cow and thunk it. Was you who punked his? I'm the one who struck the pain. That hill you can die on is way too much flack that comes from those planes. I'm killing them softly. What's understood don't need to be explained. You want it one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I maul you niggas gang. I ain't much for me, it's no how. Cancel the brunches, I remember the hunger pain. The price of the bricks going up. It's gonna cost you a beat to even say my name. There's no shame, y'all trying to get under skin. I really get under skin, ask unharmed playing. Y'all thugs with y'all thumbs again. Everybody think they're the ones insane. You're no maniac. Watch how saniac in my presence, nigga, shrink. I need a new therapist. This shit is not working. I'm truly on the brink. Y'all better not encourage him. Y'all don't want me to think these thoughts that I think. That nut-ass nigga still stuttering. That chatty patty down on his luck again. Quest introducing me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still fuck with him. You wonder why I do the freestyle rehearsal. That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her king can't even take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God. You trying to break the government. Days, my neck get flooded again. Wrist get flooded again. My net worth went up again. My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the Hove. I never looked up to them. Your publishing gangster, go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me, you niggas is workers. In perpetuity's how your contract is worded. Don't make me go man. The roots remember, even when the trees pretend. Not too much of my name, don't forget who I am. Hattie loves her Shawnees, S-H-A-W-N. I find it adorable she put the S at the end. You don't know, the show ain't even begin. I said you don't know, the show ain't even begin.
Jay-Z is a hypocrite, and I know some of y'all already in the comments typing with your whole chest right now, but I need y'all to hear me out before you come for me because the receipts are loud on this one. This man sat down with GQ magazine 3 months ago, looked directly into the camera, and said, quote, "Does battling even need to be part of the culture anymore?" He called the Drake and Kendrick beef too far. He literally asked if rap beefs should even exist in 2026. And then on May 30th, this guy went on stage at the Roots Picnic in Philadelphia and dropped a 4-minute freestyle dissing Drake, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Dame Dash, Tory Lanez, and basically anyone who has ever looked at him sideways. This is Spill the Tea, I'm Lydia, and you need to hear me out on this one because this situation got layers that nobody is talking about. So let me set the scene for you because if you weren't paying attention this weekend, you missed something that is going to have consequences for months. The Roots Picnic is this big music festival in Philly Belmont Plateau, and it's been going on for 18 years now. Jay-Z headlined night 1 this year. And this was a big deal because it was his first solo headline concert performance in 6 to 7 years. He hadn't done a solo show since about 2020. The Roots, yes, Questlove's band, the real band, backed him up, and this was the first time they played together in over 10 years. An hour and a half, 34 tracks, complete career retrospective. He had Meek Mill, Jasmine Sullivan, Bilal, Beanie Siegel, Freeway, Memphis Bleak, Petey Crack, The Young Guns. Basically the whole Rockefeller roster from 2003 showed up. And oh, he came with a brand new afro, not his normal locks. A full-on afro that immediately became a viral sub-story in itself because people were comparing him to Eazy-E, Brent Faiyaz, and, my favorite comment, looks like he's been messing with Beyoncé's wigs. I'm not making this up. But it's complicated. Here's why. Jay-Z kicks off with Hovey Baby, then straight into this untitled a cappella freestyle. No rhythm. Free of instruments. It's just him, the microphone. And 4 minutes of subliminal bars aimed at every single person who has come for him in the past few years. Now, he did not name anyone directly. This is very important to understand. Each shot was what they call subliminal, but the internet decoded them in about 45 seconds, because subtlety has never been the internet's strong suit. And seriously, the bars weren't even subtle. Let me break them down one by one, because this is where the story really gets nuts. Drake. So on May 15th, 2 weeks before the Roots picnic, Drake dropped his album Iceman. 2 companion albums, Habibti and Maid of Honor, accompanied it. There is a track on Iceman called Janice STFU, which had subliminal shots at Jay-Z. And Drake was talking about some dinner or business thing that happened in the past, and he said, "The jig is up." And people immediately clocked that as a Jay-Z reference. What does Jay-Z do? He turns it over. He literally says, quote, "The jig is up. I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. They looked up to Hov. I never looked up to them." And then he went harder with, "Don't talk success to me, you are workers. In perpetuity is how your contract is worded." Okay, let me translate that for the people in the back. Jay takes a dig at Drake's Billboard moves with the triple album with Wrong Chart Champ and The Workers and In Perpetuity line. That is Jay-Z attacking the entire structure of OVO sound and saying that Drake is basically a corporate employee with contracts that own him forever. That's not just a diss. That's Jay-Z looking at Drake and saying, "You're not even in my tax bracket of this conversation." And no one is going deep on what that In Perpetuity line really means for Drake's label deals, because that bar has business implications beyond rap beef. Now here is the really wild part. Drake's reaction? According to media personality Mal, Drake hit up Jay-Z privately after the freestyle, and his only comment was about Jay-Z's new afro hairstyle. He just made a joke about the hair. That's it. No lyric answer. No subliminal Instapost. Nothing. And apparently Drake is in no rush to escalate after what happened with the Kendrick Lamar situation in 2024, which, let me just say, that whole thing left some bruises. So Drake is picking peace for now. Honestly, which, clever, but also very different from the Drake we thought we knew. Nicki Minaj. Okay, this is the part where the whole internet choked on their breakfast. Jay-Z said, and I quote, "That lady back on that stuff, she sounds like she's in love with them. Her Ken cannot even pick they kid. Enough of them." Now let me break this down, because every single word in that bar is loaded. Nicki Minaj's husband, aka her Ken, is Kenneth Petty, a registered predator for a 1995 attempted SA conviction. He also pleaded guilty to a federal failure to register charge in California in 2021. He got 3 years probation, 1 year of home confinement, a $55,000 fine, and there is still an active civil lawsuit from the victim Jennifer Huff for alleged harassment and intimidation. Kenneth Petty is literally barred from being around children by law. So Jay-Z says her Ken cannot even pick they kid. He is making fun of those restrictions. He is saying this man cannot even do basic parenting duties because of legal status. And that is a crucifying bar. But this is where Jay-Z opens a door that I don't think he should have opened. And this is the part no one is talking about. Jay-Z, the same Jay-Z standing on that stage making fun of Kenneth Petty's record. This is the same man that did a whole tour with someone who was a danger to children. I'm talking about the Best of Both Worlds tour. He toured with a guy that was later convicted, and whose record with underage girls was well documented, before that tour even happened. So it's fine for Jay-Z to take the stage and be all high and mighty about Kenneth Petty's criminal record, when he literally went on the road with one of the most notorious predators in the history of music? Math not mathing. And the comments section knew it straight away. Someone in the comments said, "Did you forget she went on a whole tour with someone who violated Aaliyah?" Literally her abuser. How quick they forget. And honestly, that person chose to say what nobody else dared to say. But wait, it gets messier. Because Jay-Z brought out Meek Mill right after dropping those Nicki bars. Yes, Meek Mill, ex-boyfriend of Nicki Minaj. And he brought him out to perform Dreams and Nightmares, and the crowd went absolutely ballistic. Now tell me that wasn't a planned move. Say it was an accident. You diss a woman and immediately bring out the guy she used to date? That is a form of psychological warfare. That's a power move that requires planning. That is not something you do by mistake. And that is why I said at the top, this freestyle was not a freestyle. This was written. And this was done. Several outlets are referring to it as calculated subliminal shots. And the comments noticed as well. One person said it was written, with the laughing emoji, and another one said, sounding so rehearsed between the pauses. So let me get this straight. This man told GQ that battle rap is problematic and then spent weeks writing a 4-minute multi-target diss. Villain arc is happening. Kanye West. Now, Kanye and Jay-Z have had a complicated relationship for years. The two made Watch the Throne together. They were brothers. They were the biggest duo in hip-hop. Then everything went wrong. Kanye has publicly weighed in on Jay-Z and Beyoncé's children Rumi and Sir Carter, and that clearly hit a nerve. Don't you all have no shame? You trying to get under skin? I really get under skin. Ask Un how I'm playing. Okay, Jay-Z said, and I quote, "My children is some of them pause." Let me speak on that Ask Un line, because this is the bar that should have had people's jaws on the floor, and it is being wildly underreported. Un is Lance Un Rivera, a music executive Jay-Z attacked in a nightclub in 1999. He admitted assault in 2001. So when Jay-Z says, "I really get under skin, ask Un how I am playing," he is literally referencing the fact that he has been physically violent before. He's like, Kanye, keep talking about my family, just remember what I've done to people before. It's not just a criticism, that is a veiled threat. And this doesn't make the headline. People aren't leading with this. This dude basically said, keep testing me, and remember what happened to the last dude, and everybody's concentrated on the Nicki bars and the afro. And here's the kicker. As Jay-Z was doing all of this at the Roots picnic on May 30th, guess where Kanye was? He was playing a comeback concert at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul to 118,000 persons on the same evening. And as of now, Kanye hasn't said anything on the freestyle. Complete silence. No tweet, no IG post, no phone call was leaked, nothing at all. And honestly, the silence is loud. Dame Dash. Now, Dame Dash is someone I need to give you the full backstory on, because if you are under 25, you might not fully understand the history here. Dame Dash is a co-founder of Rockefeller Records, with Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke. Together, they built one of hip-hop's most iconic labels, and then everything fell apart. The fallout was ugly and public, and has been going on for literal decades. So where is Dame now? He filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy in September of 2025, and he owes something like $25 million. $19 million in unpaid taxes to the IRS in the states of NY and NJ. Child and spousal support in the hundreds of thousands due. Filmmaker Josh Weber prevails in $4 million verdict, and his so-called personal assets, under $5,000. This man went from co-founding one of the biggest labels in music history to having less than $5,000 to his name. That's Dame. When Jay-Z rapped about a chatty patty who's down on his luck with teeth falling out. That's a shout out to Dame Dash's non-stop interviews discussing Jay-Z and his money situation, and a viral clip from 2024 where his teeth literally fell out on camera. And Dame's reply to the freestyle? He posted a picture of Jay-Z as Disney character Goofy, generated by AI, on Instagram. He said he was embarrassed for Jay-Z and that he's too old for this. He took the hair to task, and he justified it all as brotherly concern. Okay, Dame. Alright, Tory Lanez. Jay-Z even went after Tory Lanez, and Tory is literally behind bars right now serving a 10-year sentence for what happened with Megan Thee Stallion. Jay-Z said, and I quote, "The rock's not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on the federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink." Now, leprechauns is a dig at Tory's height. Your son on the federal jail line is a reference to Tory's father, Sonstar Peterson, who has publicly been attacking Roc Nation in interviews and on social media. And too much in his drink refers to a leaked prison phone call. Tory's appeals were exhausted in November 2025 when the California Appeals Court rejected his appeal, and the California Supreme Court declined to review in February 2026. He's eligible for parole in November 2029, with a target release in 2033. And his answer to the freestyle? He can't answer. He is in prison, but I'm sure his father will have something to say about that before the week is out. Let me talk about something that's eating at me, and I think a lot of you are feeling the same way. Jay-Z went after all these people, but there is one person he very conspicuously did not mention. 50 Cent. Curtis Jackson, the man who has been trolling Jay-Z's family for years. The guy posting about Beyonce, kids, on their relationship. Anything, almost. And Jay-Z said nothing about him. Not a single pub. Then there was this one comment that really made me stop and think. Somebody said, why doesn't he go after 50 Cent for insulting his kids and family? And that's actually a really good question. If you're gonna get up on stage and come for Nicki Minaj's husband and Kanye's comments about your children, Why are you skipping the one person that's been the most consistent and the most public about coming for your family? That's serving very targeted energy. That is giving, I will only go after people I know will not clap back at my level. And I do not know if that is strategy or if that is something else entirely, but it is worth thinking about. And let me get into what the comments are saying because the internet has gone absolutely wild over this. Someone said, "That was a trash freestyle," and that comment got like 150 likes. 48 likes for, "Jay-Z is old and washed up," someone else said. Somebody else wrote, "It doesn't even sound like rapping, eh? I could write something better." 50 likes. And then there's Bobby Shmurda. Yes, Bobby Shmurda, who posted to his Instagram stories that Jay-Z is too old and has a identity crisis. He compared the freestyle to doing Shakespeare. He called it hollow. And here's the thing about Bobby Shmurda saying this. Bobby was signed to Epic Records, which is under Sony, and he has his own complicated history with the industry. But the too old critique is something that is hitting home for a lot of people, and that might be the most interesting debate to emerge from this whole thing. So can a 56-year-old billionaire really be part of battle rap culture? But then there's another side. One person in the comments wrote, "That is right, Jay, whack their butt. They have been talking about you for years." Another one said, "The freestyle was fire, period." And LeBron James had a positive reaction on social media. Jamie Foxx weighs in on Jay-Z's legacy, and so the fan base is actually divided. And truthfully, I think everyone has a good point. There were some brilliant moments in the bars. The line about Drake, in Perpetuity, is actually one of the hardest business disses I've heard in hip-hop. But the delivery felt rehearsed. The subliminal style feels dated in a time when Kendrick literally named names. And the GQ hypocrisy just sits there like an elephant in the room no one can ignore. And before I get to the elephant that even I've been dancing around, there are people in the comments saying this whole freestyle was a deflection. Several people wrote versions of, "He is doing everything but addressing those files," and "He is doing everything but taking that test." Now, I am not going to speculate on things that have not been confirmed, but I will say this. The civil lawsuit against Jay-Z was voluntarily dismissed with prejudice in February of 2025, which means the plaintiff cannot refile. Jay-Z has denied the allegations and dismissed it as frivolous, and has also filed a defamation lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby, which is still ongoing. That is the truth. But the perception in the comments and on social media is that this freestyle was strategically timed to control the narrative ahead of his Yankee Stadium shows in July. 3 nights, July 10th through the 12th, celebrating the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt and the 25th anniversary of The Blueprint. And really, if that is the strategy, to drop a viral freestyle that dominates the news cycle and makes you seem like an active rapper and not just a businessman, that is actually kind of brilliant from a marketing perspective, even if the execution was messy. The last thing I want to say, and this might be the most important observation, Nicki Minaj has not responded. As of right now as I'm recording this, Nicki has said nothing. And the silence is a story in itself. Is she figuring out what to say? Is she waiting for the right time? Will she respond musically or on social media? Or have the lawyers told her to keep quiet because of the Tidal lawsuit? When Tidal was sold to Square in 2021, she says Jay-Z owes her from $100 to $200 million. She says she was offered $1 million to settle but refused. Music executive Steve Stout publicly responded that she didn't sign the paperwork needed. And now Jay-Z is publicly making fun of her husband at a concert. If I was Nicki's lawyers, I would be telling her to keep quiet and let the courts deal with it. But if I was Nicki the artist, I'd be in the studio right now writing the reply of a lifetime. Each and every one of those comments is waiting for it. Someone wrote, "I'm waiting for Nicki to respond in 3, 2, 1, and honestly, same here." So here's where I'm at on this. Jay-Z opted for chaos. He was battle rap is too far in March to I'm the main character of battle rap in May. The bars had flashes of the old Hav, but the hypocrisy undermines the power of the moment. The Meek Mill move was calculated and petty, in the most calculated and petty way possible. The Ask Unbar is the most aggressive thing said in hip-hop this year, and no one is paying it enough attention. And Nicki's silence is louder than anything Jay-Z said on that stage. So I really want to know, do you think Jay-Z was justified in going off? Or do you think the GQ interview makes him a fraud? And more importantly, will Nicki respond, and if she does, will she go for the music or the social media route? Drop it in the comments. I am going to read every single one of them, really. If you have made it this far, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next video. Be messy.